When you put a person in a very tight circle, you have just made a very dangerous man, and you may very well be his first victim. What would you do to get out of circle? What would you sacrifice to get out of circle? What would you give to get out of circle? This is a very deep question. It's a question of freedom, a question of liberty. It is a question of human potential. My name is Ali Hamber. In this video, I would like to explore and share thoughts with you regarding the basic human nature, one that explains why people cheat, why people betray, why loyalty and trust is such an expensive commodity. Mr. Beast is one of the biggest, if not the biggest content creator in modern times on YouTube. He has done something quite fascinating. What he did was to bring about 100 people and he put them in a circle, a very giant circle. And he offered to give the last person to leave the circle a whooping $500,000. All you have to do to win this $500,000 was to stay in the circle long enough so that everyone will leave, and when you are the last person to stay in the circle, you get to walk away with $500,000. Now, this is a very huge amount for a person to stay in a circle. Interestingly, every day he would reduce the circle, and he reduced a circle to a level where a person would have to stay in one small circle with very little room to move around. Every day people would leave the circle for one reason or the other. The number keeps shrinking and people kept leaving the circle, even though they know if they would just endure the circle long enough, they would walk away with $500,000. Their lives would change, but they would sacrifice that money just to get out of a circle. What is it about circle that humans hate? What is it about circle that human beings wouldn't want to stay in it for a very long time? We as human beings have come to accept prison cells as an effective tool for punishing crimes. So when a person commits a crime, he is taken into the prisons to serve a time. And when a person commits further crime in the prisons, he is taken to solitary confinement to further shrink his circle, and he would hate it. These have psychological effect on human beings. The point is, we hate anything that limits us. But prisons and circles, these are physical things we see. There is something about circle that people hate, and we use that effectively to punish people. Now the question is, what would you do to get out of a circle? In 2001, Chapo Guzman is one of the, if not the biggest drug lord, had to escape prison, and it costed him over $2.5 million to do that. He gave bribes to officials and officers to manage to escape from a prison cell. He was captured later on, but he had to escape again in 2015. How did he do that? He had to spend a lot more to dig a tunnel right under the maximum security prison cell and escaped. He would do everything to escape prison. Currently, he is serving a life sentence in plus 30 years in the United States maximum security prisons. But the officials have not ruled out the possibility that Chapo Guzman would once again try to escape. What is it about these circles that he would not want to stay in it forever? He would always want to sacrifice more to leave. Now, Chapo Guzman had to sacrifice money and all resources at his disposal to get out of a circle. That is an individual escaping from a prison cell, from a physical edifice. But sometimes these circles are not physical. They are not prison cells. Sometimes they are political. For example, in the colonial times, most of the African countries have been colonized, and they would have to get out of that circle. Because remember, the circle is one that seeks to limit human potential. It is one that limits the person's ability to grow and flourish. So, the African countries had to fight to get out of that circle of colonialism. And what was the cost of it? What were they ready to sacrifice to get out of that circle? You and I know that it was bloody. Lives were lost and so much more was lost. But then they had to get out of that circle. So if you ask me, what would a person give? What would a person sacrifice to get out of a circle? I would say a person would give everything to get out of a circle. It doesn't matter whether it's a physical circle, whether it's a political circle, whether it is a social circle. A person will do anything to get out of a circle. Chapo Guzman would sacrifice all his resources, all his money, to bribe officials, to dig tunnels, to escape a circle of prisons. African countries and other colonized countries would sacrifice their leaders. Blood would be shed just to get out of the circle of colonialism. This is what people would give to get out of a circle. Sometimes the circles are social in nature. The wife becomes dangerous when the husband puts her in a tight circle. The husband becomes dangerous when the wife puts him in a very dangerous circle. The son becomes dangerous when the father puts him in a very tight circle. This is what happens when you put a person in a very tight circle. It doesn't matter how much freedom or love or happiness you think you might give in them. Remember, these circles are largely psychological. The moment a person starts to feel and understand that this is not a relationship, it is rather an exploitation. It is a position where he has been placed just to be exploited. The moment a person understands that he has been placed at a position where he can't flourish, where he can't move around, where he can't grow, that person becomes dangerous because the understanding is he is now in a circle. That explains why most employees would betray their bosses. That explains why some employees would steal from their bosses. That explains why these things happen. Now, if I ask you the question again, what would you do to get out of a circle? The answer is everything. The wife will do everything to get out of the husband's circle. The son will do everything to get out of the parent's circle. The employee would do everything to get out of the boss's circle. We would give everything to get out of the circle we have been placed upon. So what is the way out? This circle, as I told you, is psychological because sometimes people are placed in a circle but don't feel like they are in a circle. No matter how you want to imprison them, you can't because they have their freedom. Like El Chapo Guzman wouldn't stay in a prison for 1 second. Malcolm X found a purpose of his life in a prison cell. Psychologically, we are in different places. I propose one thing that helps me and I hope it would help you too. It is a freedom of mindset. It is a freedom that is acquired by one's personal journey to understanding himself and his position in life. You do it by learning and giving much attention to yourself. As in the words of Jordan Peterson in his book, The 12 Rules for Life, one of the rules was, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who somebody else is today. So you see, if you focus on yourself to build your life, you realize that there is so much to do. There is limitless potential. There is so much to learn that you can't focus on somebody. There is so much to do that you can't see the circle people are trying to place upon you. If you focus on your life, take this scenario. Whenever a person is leaving or relocating, there is one thing he will not leave behind. Because when we leave things behind. When we relocate, we leave things behind. Sometimes we leave relationships behind. Sometimes we leave homes behind. Sometimes we leave friendships behind. But there is one thing we can't leave behind, and that is ourselves. We can't leave ourselves behind wherever we may find ourselves. So, true freedom is found in one's understanding of himself. I have come to understand that if you try to control everyone around you, you would make everyone around you a dangerous man, and you might very well be their first victim. First, control your life and be a fruit, and then when you are sweet enough, everyone around you would benefit from you. You don't need to control everyone. All you have to do is to be a magnet and everyone will fall in line. People hate circles. People hate prisons. People hate places where they can't grow. People hate things, the ideas that they can't live to their full potential. And when you put a person in such a position, he becomes a dangerous man and you would be his first victim. I have come to understand that people would do everything. All they need is the right condition and the right situation, and they would do it. So if you give them that condition, trust me, they would do it. If you choke them, they would be dangerous to you. They would hurt you, and they would go away because people hate circles. What if you try to create a better circle for yourself? A circle that is mindset. A circle that will give you limitless expanse of growth and potential. I believe if you do that, you would find unlimited ways of growth. You would find that the human spirit is truly free, regardless of where he finds himself. I pray that you find that freedom and get rid of these circles, psychological circle, social circle, all of those circles that seeks to limit your potential. This is my journey to absolute freedom, and I invite you to take that journey so that we create such a beautiful world, a world where everyone is free where everyone is realizing his potential. This is my message to you today. I hope it helps you, and if it has added any value to you at all, please hit the subscribe button to support this work. Thank you. Live your life.